So the narrative and the power of people sharing their story, if they feel safe to do so, is actually driving a massive impact. And so we're really grateful for people like you doing that with us.
John, one thing I want to look at is if you have a look around the room, you look at the people next to you, and some you know, obviously, and many you don't. Every single person has a story in their life. And everyone, without doubt, I don't care who you are, your life story is fascinating and interesting. It has to be.
We also need to listen to our workers to get their involvement and buy-in. Consulting with workers absolutely provides those really important insights. What's important to them to create a thriving workplace environment? What are the opportunities for improvement?
How does a football club, as an employer, how did they look after you from, obviously physically we know you'd have the best, how did they look after you mentally, and did they look after you in a mental space?
Yeah, Geelong did. They were really good with this, but they'd say themselves, they couldn't really do a lot. And mentally, it's extremely difficult. They put good people around you, but ultimately, you want to play, you want to be able to perform and do what you've wanted to do forever and grown up loving. So that's where they struggle, I guess, and I probably struggled too. And you learn along the way, and it took me a long way to work out all the ways around it.
Check in, and not just the superficial, are you okay, and think that that's okay.
Yes.
It's about actually having a conversation and going, I've noticed that you don't seem yourself, and keep going back to that. I work as a clinician as well, so see people one-on-one, and the amount of really distressed people from toxic workplaces or information and things that haven't been dealt with has a huge impact on people's mental health, and that stuff sticks for a long time.
The other really key point is to reach out for help and support. There is a multitude of support out there, and because you'll need to tailor it for your particular circumstance, and so that it actually has meaning for not only you as your business and your business objectives, but also your workforce. And really start small and start with a really clear plan in terms of what it is that you're wanting to achieve, and ensuring that you've got some of those measures that we've sort of heard about in place, so that you know that the road that you're travelling is actually having benefit, and that you can actually then take some of those next bigger steps along the journey.
Now, gentlemen, what have you gotten out of this morning's mental health breakfast?
The importance of mental health and the importance of speaking out about mental health, and it's something that's becoming more common that we talk about in the workplace, but we talk about it, but it still probably gets lost. So, to be talking to people that understand how to work through that with employees and staff, and has been really good to listen to and find out about this morning.
I think what I took is businesses are starting to take this more seriously, and hearing that there are businesses now that are having days off throughout the year for mental health days and whatnot I think it's awesome. I think it's the way forward for the world, basically. And so the more of these conversations that happen, the more networks you get out of it, then the better off companies will be. And so that was one of the major things I took out of it.
Today there were so many people in the room, and the discussions were amazing around what workplaces can do and probably the action points. There's always something to learn, and I just love listening to all the discussions.
From a workplace perspective, there was some really good stuff from the workplace commissions, etc. Really good tips. What I do like, and I'm going to give a shameless plug. Belle's a good friend of mine, Belle Ryan. I love her art therapy courses and workshops. If you've been through one of those, it's great because you go in with no agenda, and it literally, as she says, it's a symbolism of you don't know what's going to come out, but in the metaphor of what you produce, it really starts to help you unpack, as she said, how are you? How are you really, and how do you know? So from that, just a great morning, lots of buzz in the room, and a lot of really good friendly faces to see.
This morning I thought it was absolutely wonderful. In fact, I'm going to go back to my team and I'm going to ask them each to draw me a picture about how they feel our business is, in what state our business is in at the moment, and I'll be intrigued. So one thing I took away from that, it's great to hear everyone's stories, of course. It's great to network with people that are familiar with me and to meet new people. But I think that was my take home. It was, what are we doing at work to ensure that we are protecting our workers, protecting them from stress, protecting them from overworking. We think that we have certain things in place, but do we? So I'm going back to check that.